Chronicles of Evimora. The frozen breach. The blood had frozen before sunrise. Dark crimson spread across the snowfields in jagged sprays of black-red crystal, trapped beneath layers of ice and drifting frost. Nothing moved. Not the wind, not the distant ice grass, not even the towering glacier pines that lined the northern cliffs. The tundra itself felt still, wrongfully still. Warden Ilsevar crouched beside the remains of the slaughter. His pale, frost-colored skin reflected the dim violet light of Mora overhead, while crystalline markings beneath his flesh shimmered faintly with Solis resonance. Long silver-white hair drifted softly behind him in the cold wind. Behind him, his twin Iskari tails shifted carefully over the ice. Long, lean, deadly. Near their ends, both tails bent sharply at near right angles into hardened crystalline spikes resembling massive ice picks carved from frozen glass. Built for climbing, built for piercing, built for survival, and now built for war. The dead creature beneath him had once been a tundra grazer, massive, six-legged. Its ribcage now peeled open like cracked bark. Most of its organs were missing. One of the younger hunters shifted uneasily nearby. Nothing eats like this. Another Iskari crouched several lengths away near the edge of the frozen clearing. Female, broad-shouldered, her purple eyes glowing softly beneath Mora's light. Sithari, tracker. Her tails flexed slowly as she studied the snowdrifts. Not animal, she said. No drag marks. That was the problem. The carcasses simply ended. No tracks leaving. No scent trail. No migration disruption. Only death. Ilsevar rose slowly. Around them, the hunting party tightened formation instinctively. 8 Iskari total. Everyone armed. Everyone uneasy. For 6 nights, the slaughter had spread deeper into northern territory. Entire packs missing. Ice tunnels collapsed. Fishing settlements abandoned. And always no tracks. Could be Veilmad spree, one hunter suggested weakly. Nobody answered, because everyone knew it wasn't. The cold deepened suddenly. Not natural cold. This cold felt empty. Several hunters froze immediately. Their thoughts narrowed. Fear spread through the group, despite discipline veiling. Ilsevar's eyes slowly lifted toward the distant glacier wall ahead, a massive cliff of pale blue ice disappearing into darkness. Then he saw it, a crack, new, fresh, stretching vertically through the glacier face, like something had forced its way outward from inside. Stay behind me. The hunters obeyed instantly. No argument, no hesitation. Ilsevar was warden for a reason. As they approached, the silence worsened. The tundra itself seemed to withdraw. Fora currents weakened. The faint, comforting resonance every Phelan unconsciously felt throughout their lives began fading. One younger hunter panicked first. "I cannot feel Mora." Another hissed sharply. "Veil yourself." Too late. The crack moved, not the glacier. Something inside it. Then the ice exploded outward. The creature emerged like a nightmare dragged from beneath the world. Massive, 4-limbed. Its obsidian black skin absorbed moonlight unnaturally, wet chitinous surfaces reflecting faint oily distortions across the snow. Bone-like protrusions jutted along its spine, while dull grey Noctyra pulsed weakly beneath cracks in its body like dying embers trapped beneath ash. Its elongated skull face had no true eyes, only drifting grey mist. Watching, sensing, knowing. Several hunters staggered backward immediately, not from fear alone. Their minds hurt. The Noctyra's presence distorted thought itself. No. One hunter's thoughts fractured. Impossible. The creature tilted its head slowly. The drifting mist inside its hollow face tightened toward the Iskari. Then it moved. Fast. Far too fast. The nearest hunter barely reacted before a razor limb punched completely through his chest. Blood exploded across the snow. The Noctyra lifted him effortlessly, then tore him apart. The hunting party erupted. 2 Iskari launched upward simultaneously, their ice-pick tails embedding into the glacier wall as they vaulted higher for attack angles. Another slid low across the ice, twin tail spikes carving trenches behind him. Ilsevar moved directly forward, not away, toward it. The Warden inhaled sharply. His thoughts narrowed instantly. Selective veiling. The second mind gate. Fear vanished. Pain vanished. Only combat remained. The Noctyra lunged. Its massive limbs slammed downward. Ilsevar twisted aside barely in time. The impact shattered the frozen ground beneath him. Cithari attacked next. Her tail struck like spears. One spike pierced directly into the creature's shoulder and stopped. The flesh resisted strangely. Not armor, not skin. Something between matter and absence. The Noctyra reacted instantly. Its second limb swept sideways. Cithari blocked with crossed forearms. Too slow. The blow launched her violently across the snowfield. Ilsevar's eyes narrowed. It resists physical density. Another hunter panicked. Then how do we kill it? The answer came from the oldest hunter present. Quiet. Terrified. Moonlight. Everyone froze briefly, because suddenly they understood. The creature had emerged during the coldest veil cycle in generations. Weeks of storms, minimal heavy exposure, weak Mora visibility, extended darkness. A breach. The Noctyra attacked again, this time toward the younger hunters. Ilsevar moved instantly, both tails embedded into the glacier beside him. Then he launched himself horizontally through the air, using the spikes like climbing anchors. Pure Iskari movement, violent, efficient, beautiful. He collided with the creature mid-charge. The impact cracked ice for meters. The Noctyra roared, not through thought, through sound. A brutal physical howl tore from it, warping the air into a violent wave that struck with crushing force, while its shriek pierced their minds like daggers. Several hunters screamed openly. One collapsed entirely, clutching his skull. Ilsevar gritted through the psychic distortion. Then he spoke aloud. Iskara Vakar, res casting. The words rang sharp through the frozen valley. Fora surged down his arms instantly. Ice erupted beneath the creature's limbs, not enough to trap it, but enough to slow it. The hunters regrouped immediately, now coordinated, now thinking. Drive it into open light, Cithari shouted telepathically, while rising shakily from the snow. Toward the Mora ridge, because ahead, beyond the storm clouds. Faint violet moonlight shimmered across the distant ice cliffs. The Noctyra sensed it too, and recoiled. Fear, for the first time. That terrified them more than the creature itself. It fled. The hunting party pursued instantly, across frozen rivers, over shattered ice shelves, through razor winds. The Noctyra moved unnaturally fast despite its size, scaling glacier walls, using massive hooked limbs. But the Iskari were born for this terrain. Their tail spikes embedded into sheer ice effortlessly. They climbed vertically, leapt between frozen ridges, moved across the glaciers like predators of the storm itself. Ilsevar caught the creature first. He launched from above. Both tail spikes drove downward simultaneously, one buried into the creature's upper spine. The second shattered against bone protrusions. The Noctyra roared again, this time stronger. The surrounding air distorted. Snow lifted from the ground. Fora currents collapsed entirely. Then, Mora emerged from the clouds. Deep violet moonlight flooded the glacier ridge. The effect was immediate. Steam erupted from the creature's back. Grey mist burst violently from its hollow face. Its flesh bubbled where the moonlight touched. The hunters stared in shock. "The moon's burning it!" The Noctyra panicked. Actually panicked. It turned toward Ilsevar and charged blindly. Wrong choice. Sithari intercepted first. Her tail spike pierced directly through one rear limb joint. Another hunter slammed both crystalline tails into the creature's flank simultaneously. Ilsevar landed atop its back again. This time, true casting began. Open hearkening. The Warden opened his mind fully. Dangerous, painful, necessary. Every hunter's thoughts aligned instantly through him. Movement, timing, intention, unity. Then Ilsevar spoke. Iskara vakar ish. The glacier exploded upward. Massive crystalline spikes erupted from beneath the Noctyra, like the tundra itself rejecting its existence. One pierced its torso completely. Another impaled a lower limb. The creature shrieked mentally. Then Mora's light intensified again. Its body began breaking apart. Not bleeding, unraveling, like corrupted matter collapsing inward. Grey ash scattered across the frozen wind. Then, nothing. Silence returned. The hunters stood trembling beneath the violet moon, exhausted, bleeding, alive. No one spoke for several moments, because none of them could fully accept what they had just seen. Finally, the youngest hunter whispered telepathically, "There are more." Ilsevar looked toward the distant, endless tundra, toward the storm horizon, toward the crack still spreading faintly through the glacier walls. And for the first time in generations, the Warden of the Iskari felt fear. Because deep beneath the frozen north, something had begun trying to enter Evimora again.